So we're out at the property this week. We've got 2 more weeks until we have to be out of Vegas, and the land still needs to be prepped. And by prepped, I mean graded. If you look behind me, this is our base camp down here. This is my brother-in-law Adam's trailer. The Edge pulled it fine. I was really proud of her. I was over the weight limit, though only by a couple 100 pounds. But for the most part, she did just fine. So over the next 4 or 5 days, we're going to be using a couple skid steers, and we're going to be grading the land. And the objective here is to get an inlet from the main road onto our property, as well as have a large enough flat area where we can put the trailers. As another goal, we're going to be needing an area for the well guy to be able to get onto the property with his machine, which he says weighs 64,000 pounds, and he needs to be able to get to the spot where we want them to drill the well. So we're going to need to compact the area from the road up to where we want the well drilled in order to make it possible for the truck to get onto the property and drill that well. The last thing I want is for the guy to make it out to the property, take a look at the area we've cleared and say, we can't get onto that. We'll see you in 2 months. Peace. So hopefully we're able to get it compacted enough for his equipment. A couple things of note. I've never operated a skid steer before. In fact, I only knew them as bobcats up until this point. And the last time I operated a bobcat, I was barely into the double digits. We're talking 10 or 11. I would go with my father to a job site, and he would let me mess with the controls a little bit. So not exactly a lot of experience or relevant experience, but from what I've been told and from the videos I've watched on YouTube, it seems pretty video game-like, and if it's anywhere adjacent to using a controller, I should be fine. So that's the game plan. We just got set up about an hour ago, headed into Winnemucca to get the supplies we're gonna need for the whole week. And now that we're set up, we're gonna spend the night tonight relaxing a little bit, and then it's bright and early tomorrow. The machinery gets delivered at 9 a.m. and from there, I'll be learning how to pilot the machinery before diving into clearing out the land. We'll discuss more about what exactly the project's gonna entail and how we're gonna tackle it in the morning. For now, I'm just gonna enjoy the night on the property. So it's 7 a.m. We got 2 hours till the equipment gets delivered. I'm having my coffee, trying to wake up. I am not a morning person. Normally my hours are 9 to 10 a.m. until 1 to 2 a.m. So this is going to be quite a switch here over the next week and moving on from here, becoming a morning person. Because here, you're kind of up with the sun. We got a lot to do today. We're going to see how much we get done. I'll film learning how to drive the equipment. But all the area you see out here, this is going to start to get cleared. We're going to clear all this sagebrush. You can see the acre in the background that Nario cleared. And we're going to just kind of bring it this way. We might not get all the leveling done, but at least we'll clear off a bigger patch of the land. And then for leveling, it's going to be mostly around the area that Nario did. And I'll walk you through some of the other areas that we're planning on fixing up. Anyway, let's go get this equipment.
The sagebrush is Nevada's state flower, and for good reason. This hardy plant grows all over the state and thrives in its unforgiving soil. And like all properties in Nevada, ours is blanketed in it. We want to keep and preserve natural vegetation, and I've done research on the right trees, ground cover, and bushes for the area. The sagebrush is in that plan, but we need space for ourselves, so we'll be clearing out 3 acres to initially settle. The first of which is already cleared thanks to our first and best asset, Nario of Sonoma GS. He brought in a skid steer with a thresher attachment and got it ready for us to begin leveling and grading.
Okay, so the second machine is delivered. Adam's already out there working. This is the one I'll be using here with the treads. I just finished watching some YouTube videos, so I think I've got a little bit of understanding on how to make it work, but let's walk through it. Okay, so these things have a few different safety precautions, and most of them have to do with turning it on. So you got a seat belt here that you got to make sure is fastened. That's step one. Then you got these sidebars here, these got to be down. Then this door's got to be pull closed. I don't know if I'm going to cut out the audio here. Let's find out. Okay, and once the door's closed, you're going to turn the thing to on here. This is closed, this is closed. Turn this to here. And to on. Boom! Now we're on. Now the only thing you have to do after this is turn off the emergency brake here, and then you're good to go. So let's do that. Emergency brake off. Okay. So you've got a gas pedal down here. You can hear it revving. So the way the gas pedal works is it doesn't actually make the thing go faster, it just increases the power output of the engine. So that'll take some getting used to. Really the way you control it is you got these two joysticks here. The one on the left is your movement, that's going to be backwards. Okay, woo! And forward. Okay, and then side, boom, and then side. Okay, that's your movement. Over here on the right is your bucket. You're going to go back to up, down, okay. Left is going to tilt. Here, let me actually bring it up here. So you got your bucket here. Right declines the bucket. Left brings the bucket back up. And then again, forward brings it down. And then whenever you're getting ready to end the day or put this thing back into park, you want to make sure that that bucket is resting on the ground. And then you're going to go through the steps in the opposite way. I'm going to put on the emergency brake here, the parking brake, turn this engine off. I'm going to undo these roller coaster straps. I don't know what extra, I guess if you're falling. And then undo my seat belt and then open the door. And it's just like that, just that easy. Now I'm going to try to set up a little cam in the background here so you can see from the cabin's point of view. Let's see how well that goes. I don't know if this is going to be a good shot or not, but let's see. Okay.
Well, I've got to be honest, I feel like I did more harm than good today, but we ended with a levelish pathway into the property and 3 acres of cleared space. Step 1 and day 1 complete.
Dust devil? Holy fuck, get out of the way.
So let's talk about Nevada soil, or lack thereof. Caliche is found across Nevada. They call it nature's cement because over time, combined with how much pressure it's under, it can harden like stone. In some places you get a few inches of topsoil before hitting the stuff, but on our property it's the top and deep soil. We knew this going in, so its presence isn't a surprise, but I wasn't considering it when clearing the acres, and I should have been.
So a little bit more about the caliche. Besides being powdery as flour, anytime the wind kicks up, it creates these huge dust clouds. So the 2 acres that we've cleared off are now kind of an issue because right now, anytime you step on it, it creates these poofs of smoke and just gets dirt everywhere. And the dust is so fine that it goes through screen doors, it goes through my entire interior of my car is covered in dust, all my clothes, all my equipment. It's a total nightmare when trying to keep things new and dust-free.
Days 2 and 3 were too windy to film anything worth showing, but we did make it into the Golconda post office to set up our P.O. boxes. Oh, and good news on the address front, we've finally secured NDOT approval for legal access into our property. We'll be naming 5 streets in order to make it happen, and while they're all evocative of the area, I wanted something special for our own. Fingers crossed they get approved.
Oh, actually, I have to get a different shot of that. It's too far to walk. It's an acre. And then Adam did this today. This is the road to the creek. He's filling in that, huh? He's filled in this bump here. So it's pretty, we still gotta come over it, but it's pretty even. It doesn't have that huge dip that it did. And then look. Totally level. It's got the sides. He even cut into the see where it grooves in. It's to keep it level. Oh yeah, this looks great. This is my first time seeing this too. And this goes all the way to our creek. We were pulling river rock out of here earlier to mix in under our base for our road. There's so much of that powdery dirt on our property. We needed something to tamp down under it or over it. And this used to dip as well. Oh shit, you're right. Here's where we're pulling from. And all the way out to our creek, or as I heard a local call it today, our crick. Which is getting ready to swell. You can see the overflow starting to come apart here. It's gorgeous here, baby. I wish you were here. Okay, we're down by our creek, and over time, the creek has kind of acted as a filter for us. It's sifted away a lot of the caliche and left us with this rough gravel. This gravel has a good amount of sand in it, and between the sand and the gravel, we've been using it as a poor man's culvert and burying a vein of this under anywhere we see that there is a through path for water. That way the top layer is that caliche soil, maybe some base on top, but underneath it, it's a lot of this, which hopefully will allow some of that water to pass through, because we did have to fill in 3 or 4 different drainage ditches that run through the Valley of Bones. So without having access to a pipe just yet to use as a traditional culvert, we had to come up with some type of solution that would work in the interim, at least for right now. We can come back through and dig up the section we need, lay in a pipe, and put dirt back over the top of it if we discover there are any more problematic areas. Hopefully this will act as decent drainage and work in our favor. Now we're not sure until it actually rains and we're on property. We're not sure exactly how our drainage runs. There's a lot of old drainage ditches kind of scattered throughout the property that vein through it. Some of them look disused, some of them look like they are more recent and in use, but only time will tell which is which.
task is to cover the caliche path with road base, which is a mixture of crushed rock plus limestone or granite. There's a threshold you're looking for here when spreading out road base. You want to get as much coverage as possible without going thinner than 2 inches. It takes practice, but since each load was costing us $200, I became proficient after the first load and spent the next 11 refining my technique. When pressed into the caliche, the road base creates a stable top that can handle the weight of all the heavy things that'll be driving across it.
So that's where we're at. This was a productive week. We got a lot done. There's a road coming into our property now. We've got a pad for the RV trailer. We've got access for the well rig to come onto the property and drill our well. I've actually just confirmed with Bruce McKay that we are 2 weeks out from the well being drilled, and that's barring any complications, but right now, that's a huge win. I was counting on having to do 2 weeks to 4 weeks out on the property with no water, which after this experience for this week, I've realized would have been very difficult and all but untenable for Athena. I'm being charged per day on these skidsters. Hopefully we can get them back by the end of the day today. We're gonna head back tomorrow morning, back to Vegas. We're gonna spend the next week packing everything up and getting the last of our furniture that's getting thrown away to the dump, as well as the stuff that's getting donated to the donation center. So if all goes well and we get the 2 machines returned before 5 p.m., we'll be celebrating tonight by going to the watering hole. It's a local bar here in Golconda. We're gonna check it out, hopefully meet some locals, and I'll show you some footage from that as well. And if we don't get the cats returned tonight, then we're gonna be going to the watering hole to lament our bad luck.
"10 days. Less than 2 weeks before we trade in our old lives for an entirely new one. One where our victories and our failures will be our own. They say anything worth doing tests your resolve. Well, let me tell you, I am fucking resolved."